All right, Shalom. First, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Bahashem Kodash. Double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, and peace and blessings to the elect. As you can see here, all right, this is an article that says here, all right, Elon Musk says Neuralink plans 2020 human test of brain-computer interface. All right, brain-computer interface, which is, they said they're planning 2020. All right, which is less than a few months from now. All right, being that we're already, in July of 2019. All right, about to be in August. So I'll read a little bit of it, man, because hey, this is all gonna be connected to that beast system. All right, to that RFID. All right. So it says a monkey has been able to control a computer with his brain. CEO Musk says of his startup's brain machine interface, which I did a video a while back. All right, when he had an interview. All right, with I forgot who he was being interviewed by, but he basically brought this up. All right, basically the idea of making human cyborgs. Where you're part. You're basically a mutation of technology. All right, and life. All right, to make cyborgs. And in the interview, he was basically going into like being able to speak another language by downloading it and downloading a personality or a program. All right, so you can have a digital you and then the real you. All these different things. But this is all they as they claim to start. All right, so let's see what the article has to say. It says, oh, Neuralink plans to test its brain-machine interface technology with 4 of its N1 chips installed under patients' skin. Whoa, that sounds interesting. A chip installed under patient's skin sounds a little something like Revelation 13 and 16. All right, but the angle which they're starting it with, well, let's read it and see. So it says Neuralink, Elon Musk's startup that's trying to directly link brains and computers, has developed a system to feed thousands of electrical probes into a brain and hopes to start testing the technology on humans in 2020. The chief executive Elon Musk revealed Tuesday, and it's working already in animal tests. A monkey has been able to control a computer with his brain, Musk said at a San Francisco live streaming the presentation on YouTube Tuesday, revealing even more research results than the company's scientists expected. Now, that's the thing, though. They're talking about putting all these, like it says, what does it say that? Salakia. Uh, uh, Thousands of electrical probes. People are not trying to be down with that, man. Well, you have some people, but they have to make it more appealing, all right? And they're gonna do that by enticing the people, okay? Enticing the people to want, to accept this, okay? And a couple of fields they start with is the medical field, the entertainment field, convenience. All right, these are a couple of things that they use to entice people into getting things that originally they would reject. Now it's no surprise if they come out and say, you know what, this is just like the first version, which is why it consists of these thousands of probes or whatnot. But ultimately, guess what? When that RFID system is in place, that mark of the beast, they'll easily just say, you know what, all you got to do is get the chip, and you can link, your brain to whatever it may be, just from that chip alone. All right, because that chip, the technology in that chip is some advanced stuff. Okay, and that's what they're gonna push it with, man. Because ain't nobody trying to get electrical probes in their brain. They have to make it appealing to the public eye. All right. So it says Neuralink's initial goal is to help people deal with brain and spinal cord injuries or congenital defects. Now you see how, like I said, they always start these things as though it's some positive, health beneficial way of helping and curing people of certain things. Listen, bro, that's just an enticement factor. So it says Musk said the technology could help paraplegics. Let's look that up. All right, which basically sounds like people who don't have the ability to like control their limbs and so on and so forth. Okay. So it says it's a medical word for being paralyzed from the waist down. If you're paraplegic, you can't move your legs or anything below your waist, and you have no feeling in those areas either. Those areas. Huh. People usually get this condition because of damage to the spinal cord, which could result from a disease or an accident. So yeah, all right. So going on to basically this technology can help those who have been disabled from the waist on down. All right, who have, like it says here, who have lost the ability to move or sense because of spinal cord injury. A medical treatment that's a lot less shocking than its radical sci-fi ideas like consensual telepathy. So it says, now that's more acceptable to people, you know. So it says, but the long-term goal is to build a digital super intelligence layer to link humans with artificial intelligence, a technology he views as an existential threat to humanity. All right, mind you, this is something you hear in a sci-fi movie, man. All right, but like it says, they're trying to start 2020. All right, so they're moving quick. Okay, so it says here, Neuralink has the potential to dramatically reshape both computing and humanity if it and like-minded researchers can persuade regulators and society at large that we should be directly wired to machines. That's a big if. It is a big if because, like I said, this ain't the Matrix, man. Well, it is in a way, but people are not trying to be hooked up to a machine to do this, man. But like I said, this is just the introduction. All right, they're gonna make it more and more enticing to people. All right, it says the challenges because once they start coming out with the quote unquote the pros, all right, of this Neuralink, you'll start seeing how people are gonna start gravitating towards like, oh, you know what, maybe it's not so bad, you know. So it says the challenges are immense when it comes to developing the technology, making it practical and affordable, and convincing people it's safe and desirable. The startup uses sewing machine like technology this year to drill small holes into brains and insert super slender electrodes called threads, steering clear of blood vessels as they go. All right, which they might just, we all know what this is leading to. All right, they're just you're just gonna end up with a chip inside your head. All right, all these brains and wires and screws, no, they're just gonna put a chip in your head. All right, it says because that they're gonna say that's much easier. So it says Neuralink envisions brain-connected chips and accompanying communication wires placed under the skin. A data transfer system would then link to a wearable, removable pod behind the ear that communicates wirelessly with external devices like a phone or computer. We hope to have this aspirationally in a human patient by the end of this year. Whoa. All right. By the end of this year. So it's not far, Musk said. He acknowledged, though, that approval from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration is quite difficult. Brain machine interface BMI, but see, don't get it twisted because at the end of the day, all these different the technology that's the beast system technology, then they're gonna have no problem, all right, getting that approved because those who are in charge, those who the ultimate, the elites are the ones pushing for it. Now they make it come out, they come out and make it seem as though, oh yeah, it's a distant, but ultimately that's their agenda. Okay, so at the end of the day, they're gonna float, roll with it. All right, it says BMI technology is active research at competitors and laboratories. Oh, and other laboratories. But some worry that Neuralink's invasive method is risky. Today, some epilepsy patients have dozens of wires inserted to monitor brain activity, said Ben He, head of biomedical engineering at Carnegie Mellon University, and a researcher who favors non-invasive methods. Salakia. Now, as I keep reading, all right, it's gonna get very interesting here. All right, so it says, in the general population, I could not see how many of such inserted wires into a human's brain would not cause risks of potentially impair and the working of the brain, he said. Non-invasive methods not only can read brain activity but also stimulate it. That's easier at the surface, but new breakthroughs show promise for communications with neurons deeper in the brain, he said. Even if Neuralink's approach works, don't expect to download the ability to speak French anytime soon. The company's first goals are dauntingly ambitious, and training the brain to understand the Neuralink signal won't be easy either, said Max Hodak. Which all it takes is just them researching it. Once they're approved to start researching it on people, all right. Man, these scientists they don't rest. They're gonna do it and do it and do it, test trials and all of that, to the point where they can like easily just you know overcome these so-called dauntingly ambitious obstacles. So it says Neuralink's president and co-founder, it's a long process. It's like learning to touch, type, or play piano, he said. It says here, in a research paper authored by Elon Musk and Neuralink, but not published in a peer-reviewed journal, Neuralink described progress using its technology with rats. In one case, it laced electrodes into a rat's brain and fitted it with a USB-C port so the sensor can be monitored. This system serves as a state-of-the-art research platform and a first prototype towards a fully implantable human BMI. The paper says implantable, which what they're gonna have is talking rats now. They're gonna put a thing in the head so it can translate what the rat's brain signals and vocalize it or something. Man, oh boy. Trying to get to the part. Oh, whoa. Let's read this part. So it says here, with Neuralink's approach, a robot inserts tiny threads a quarter the width of a human hair. The threads are about the same size as a neuron, Musk said. If you're going to stick something in your brain, you want it to be tiny, approximately on par with the things that are already there. A wisp of 1,024 threads attached to a small chip. Whoa, a small chip, up to 10 of which will be embedded under your skin. That's when you read Revelation 13 and 16, what does it say? All right. It says a mark, which the word is what? Charagma in the Greek, which means a thing inserted. All right. And that's what they're going to do with that RFID chip. They're going to insert it under the skin. But they're desensitizing the human mind, all right, the masses, to now being common or being okay with having things inserted under your skin, chips, because that's how, when dealing with biotechnology, mainly the main things that are used are what? Chips. Okay, and I'm not talking about Doritos. I'm talking about actual microchips. All right. It says each will connect wirelessly to a wearable, detachable, upgradable pod. So what happens when they say, well, we're gonna upgrade this to the RFID chip behind your ear that communicates wirelessly with a phone? The interface to the chip is wireless, so you have no wires poking out of your head. It's basically Bluetooth to your phone, or it basically Bluetooth to your phone, Musk said. Oh boy, man. It says the installation will place through holes 2 millimeter wide, temporarily expanded to 8 millimeter, then glued shut. Musk said. Among the company's challenges are developing electrodes that will last many decades, but getting the right coating is a tough materials science problem. The human brain is not hospitable, or is not a hospitable environment. Now I'm looking for the part where he said, there it is. Or it's here. It says, Neuralink is designing its electrodes not just to read from neurons what's going on in the brain, but also to write signals into the brain. You can use this technology in the brain to restore a sense of touch, or a vision, said Neuralink scientist Philip Sage. Now you see how they're shifting towards the enticement. Now, this sounds crazy at first, right? You're inserting wires on a chip into your head, and all of that. But what happens when you tell them what it can do? Oh, did you know that doing that can give the blind their sight back? You know, or restore touch to somebody who's lost it, somebody who's crippled, somebody who can't move, somebody who's paralyzed. We can bring it all back with this technology. Which, real quick, let me get a hey man. But ultimately, this is Esau, all right, trying to play the role of God. You know, um, Matthew 24:24. For there shall arise false Hamashiachim, or false anointed, and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Now, let me see what the word signs that it goes into. Ooh. Let's play this.
Strong's G 4592. Semayon. Semayon.
Semayon. Now check this out. A sign mark. Right? A sign mark token. Alright? You know what that sounds like? A mark of the beast. So it says that by which a person or thing is distinguished from others and is known. A sign, prodigy, portent, i.e., an unusual occurrence, transcending the common course of nature. Whoa. Is this not considered a transcending the common course of nature? Making human cyborgs, a BMI, okay, fusing humans and technology so they can do these different things? I'd say it is. It says of signs portending remarkable events to soon happen, miracles and wonders by which the Most High authenticates the men sent by Him, or by which men prove that the cause they are pleading is God's. Which this pertains to the actual prophets of the Lord. All right, but this pertains to these false prophets. All right, and these really Esau's system. Okay, this beast system. All right, is going to use signs. All right, and lying wonders to deceive a lot of people, man. Okay, to entice them and to deceive them. And like we just read here, Mark, right? It says a thing by which a person or thing is distinguished from others and is known. If you take that chip, you're going to be distinguished from others, and it's going to be known. All right, and that's an unusual occurrence or transcending the common course of nature. All right, that's this right here. All right, but it's not gonna be just this, man. There's much more to come. This is just the beginning. Okay, so it says here, connections to the motor control parts of the brain also could help people with brain disorders, Sage said. All right, now here's the part. It says a person could imagine running, dancing, or even kung fu, Sage said, with a Neuralink connection controlling their 3D avatar in a digital realm. Ultimately, if and when technology for spinal cord, nerve, or muscle stimulation gets far enough, it could be used to restore that individual's control over their own body. Now, this part I wanted to focus on about the 3D digital avatar, or the 3D avatar in a digital realm, because I remember a couple of years ago I watched this anime, all right, called Sword Art Online, all right, and basically what you see going on here, all right, it's basically what they were doing, where they came out. There was a company that invented this new technology. I think they called it the nerve gear. All right, where basically you put it on. All right, you put it on your head. It's like a helmet. You put it on your head, and then you lay on your bed or whatever it may be, and it transports your mind. It's basically like a virtual reality video game, and it sounds just like this. I'm gonna read a little part on it right here. All right, and then you can see the comparison between the two. So it says the nerve gear is a second generation full drive machine that was created by Argus. That was a company. It also has a single interface that covers a player's whole head and face. It completely controls the player's consciousness by redirecting the signals the brain sends to the body and sending its own waves to stimulate the five senses. So basically, what happens in the virtual reality world, you would feel like it's happening to you in real life. It says it has its own battery source as well as a high frequency electromagnetic microwaves transmitter. Puzzles, education related games, or environmental type games were first produced for Nerve Gear. All right, boom. Now let's see how it actually works. Now this is from a so-called, well, I guess what people will consider a cartoon, but it's really called an anime. But you know, um, it says here, all right, they broke it down in the show. It says Nerve Gear not only stimulates sight and sound, right? It also stimulates taste, okay, smell, and even touch. What do we read here? Where was it? It says you can use this technology in the brain to restore a sense of touch or vision. Right? So let's keep going. It says in other words, it can completely immerse players in a virtual world. Right? It says here, Saber said with the Neuralink connection controlling their 3D avatar in a digital realm. That's exactly what they were doing in here. All right. It says, however, its true potential lies within the fact that it doesn't send virtual sensations to the user. It intercepts and manipulates the signals sent by the user's brain. It says, when using nerve gear, all the signals sent by the brain are blocked and processed so that they only affect the avatar in the virtual world. So basically, what happens is that let's say your brain is sending a signal for you to walk. They're gonna stop the signal from reaching the rest of your body parts, and instead cause it to reach the 3D avatar. Okay, so like for example, when you feel pain or when you want to move your hands and your fingers and all that, your brain is sending signals to those body parts for that to happen. But what it does is that it stops the signal from going to your physical body and instead to your digital body. Okay, so your brain still thinks that you're moving, all right, but really it's your digital body that's moving, and it's all happening in your mind. It says that this immobilizes the user's physical body, so there's no risk of running into walls in the real world while playing in the virtual one. It says Nerve Gear only has one method of input. It's shaped like a helmet that covers most of the user's face. Inside, millions of signal units generate electromagnetic waves to stimulate our brains. Nothing the user sees and hears in the virtual world actually comes from our eyes and ears. Everything is manipulated directly in the respective parts of our brain used to process each of the five senses. All right. And when I read this part, that's what it made me think of because I watched that show before. It's a pretty good show. It's called Sword Art Online. All right, but they were basically saying in the year 20, I think it was 2020 in Japan, they had come out with this nerve gear system, and it was basically for like video, digital, virtual reality realm and stuff. All right. So it says here, a person could imagine running, dancing, or even kung fu. Sabe said, with the Neuralink connection, controlling their 3D avatar in a digital realm. Okay, that's very interesting, man. Ultimately, if and when technology for spinal cord nerve or muscle stimulation gets far enough, it could be used to restore that individual's control over their own body. All right. Um, Yeah, I'm not gonna read this whole thing. Well, I mean, that's basically finished anyway, so I'll just finish it. It says Neuralink hopes its procedure will be safe and easy enough that people will choose to undergo it. This should be safe enough that it can be an elective procedure, said company neurosurgeon Matthew McDougall. In tests so far, we've been able to rapidly place thousands of electrodes into the brain without any bleeding. McDougall said. That's because the electrodes are small, far smaller than the deep brain stimulation electrodes that currently come with about a 1 in 100 risk of causing bleeding in the brain, he said. In an era dominated by tech giants that have succeeded through computing hardware, software, and services, out as an entrepreneur who's got a knack for other parts of the physical world, things like electricity, rocks, and gravity. Musk is pretty busy. He's got Tesla, which makes electric cars and trucks, massive electric powered storage batteries, and solar roofs. He's got SpaceX, which is launching satellites, including its own set for providing internet service, and is working on rockets to get people to orbit, Mars, and the other side of Earth. Then there's the Boring Company, which is trying to create tunnels to relieve automobile congestion on original roads. So yeah, they're just basically trying to create a sci-fi world, you know. Oh man, uh, trying to see if there's anything else that's interesting here. Mm, well, let's see. It says I'll just read this last part. Even in a bending AI scenario, we will be left behind. Hopefully, it is a benign scenario in which superintelligent AI surpass but don't wipe out humans, Musk said. With a high bandwidth brain machine interface, I think we can go along for the ride and effectively have the option of merging with AI. All right? Which, when you take that chip, that's what you do as well. Okay? But like it says here, he quote unquote fears that in order to avoid technology surpassing humanity, why not make humans cyborgs so we can keep up, or whatever it may be. But this is really just madness, man. All right, this is madness. But you already got people, all right, which I saw it somewhere. People already talking about, oh, they can't wait. You know what I mean? They want to get strapped up because they watched this anime. You know, you got fans of this because this is a pretty popular anime. Or you got fans who watch this show, and the second they saw this article, they're already thinking of what was happening in the show. So they're already on it. Like, oh, yep, put me on there, but they don't really know what the agenda for something like this is. All right. Now on top